In 2014, I wrote a song about it, and then I couldn't play it.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Have a Beer with Obi. I am here with country music icon, sex god, Granger Smith. I'm a personal huge fan of this guy. If you have ever been through Texas, you definitely know this man's name. And if you haven't, you got to look him up on YouTube. This guy's amazing. I mean, AKA Earl Dibbles Jr., the Granger Smith. Thank you for being here, bud.
Bro, I can't live up to that intro, but thank you.
I didn't think that was too much. I thought that was playing it low key. I mean, how many years have you been in the music industry?
About 20.
20 years.
About 20.
That was not nearly a good enough intro for this man.
No,
believe me.
Most of those, 70, 80% of those 20 years were failing constantly, over and over.
But that's what it takes, right?
Yeah.
It takes that. We were talking right before we started going about how you thought you were doing good in 2012, but that's only because in 2008 you weren't doing that good.
And in 2004, I was even worse than that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a process, man.
Yeah.
And following you along your music process, you've really tightened it up. You've gotten better. You've gotten so much more in tune with yourself as a person. You can see it through your music. Like it went from like you created a character that was funny and connected with a lot of people to no, I am a person that has these feelings on the inside and I can express them through this beautiful sound. And I think everyone followed right along with it. And you've surpassed the character that you created, who was iconic.
Thank you, dude.
So
Very
congratulations.
Much, Thank you. That means a lot.
I wanted to start this off with you. Have a natty light. You want to crack one of these open?
Absolutely.
Normally it's tradition for us to shotgun one of these. I mean, you don't have to, but the first one I normally...
I'm not going to do it. You're not going to do it alone.
Oh, that's right. That would be rude of you.
It'd be weird if I'm just sipping a beer.
How about you can tell me how we open that up. I got chubby fingers.
Here we go. We'll do this.
Ah, see, prepared.
There you go.
Okay, so last time I did this, I spilled all over the place, so I'm going to try.
That's it. We got a concrete floor. We're good.
Crack this. All right. Uh-huh.
All right.
So wait, we're going to...
More there.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers, man. Ah, yeah. Half of it on me, but that's good.
Ooh. Hopefully it wasn't the good half.
That is a great way to start the interview.
That's how we get started. You make a mess, get your inhibitions down, then I just take advantage of you.
Absolutely.
I'm going to make you say all kinds of horrible stuff. We're going to keep it, and then we're going to leave.
Absolutely.
That's the deal. Let me get you another beer real quick.
Yeah. Right. Well, we just sipped this one regularly?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, if you want to, I will never back down. As the host, it's up to you. If you
Judging from your size, it would not be smart of me to go drink with you.
Right. Normally, I can handle myself, which is why I wasn't afraid to host a show like this.
How many?
How many?
How many takes you to get drunk?
Drunk? Oh my gosh. I don't know if beer does. Okay. I don't know if beer does it now. There has been times when I was younger that I would, play Edward 40 hands or whatever. You ever played that game?
Oh yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, Edward 40 hands means you take two 40s and you tape them to your hands and you don't get to put them down until you drank them all. There has been times where I've passed out under the beer pong table and yelled at people as they were walking by. That definitely happened to me a few times. But right now, I would say I could drink all the beer, probably, all of it.
Just all of it.
Yeah, I mean, if we're doing that, probably 12 in a row would put me in a good spot.
You'd just be feeling good, but you wouldn't be drunk.
Oh, not drunk. No.
Okay, so you got to supplement with some harder stuff, right?
Right, for sure. You throw in a shot in each beer, then 12 might have me about buzzed.
Big guy problems.
Yeah, exactly. It's expensive to get me drunk. Yeah. So I wanted to first start off and talk about your process as an artist. Like I said, I'm not just blowing smoke up your dress, man. I'm a huge fan. I got to come out here, and for those of you guys who haven't seen, we came out and did the Holler music video, which was one of the most amazing times of my life. We got just a bunch of cool guys out here, had a blast, tore up some dirt,
Yeah.
and And because of that, I went and I started looking into you. And my longtime girlfriend, she was a huge fan. She went to Texas A&M. She knows who you've been your entire career. And she was like, I can't believe you don't know. And so I went and I started looking through stuff. And it just seems like, you say it's been 20 years, but you've grown so much. I mean, there's not really, it doesn't fit in any time capsule. So 20 years of growth for you is something I don't think I've seen in really any other artist. The way that you started out and the way that you are now, you're not just this character. You're a father. You're a speaker for love, for a lot of stuff. I could go really deep into it. Your growth is just so inspiring. And I wonder, like, was that part of like the plan? Is that just what happened? Did you just kind of find yourself through it?
Dude, well, first of all, thank you. And it's like when you start saying stuff like that, I'm like, nah.
See, that's why I know you're gonna keep doing it though. It's when people feel like, oh yeah, I've achieved this, then you're never gonna see another good album come out of them. You're never gonna see them succeed in their sport or anything. The fact that you're saying, that means I know your next album's gonna be better than the last.
I hope. I really do. And I think it is, because it's gonna come out probably in September. So I think it is. And so that's the only measuring stick I could use.
Right.
Is this album compared to the last, compared to the one before that, and the one before that. And how I look at my albums as kind of a diary of my life at the time.
Yeah.
So when I look back over 10 years, I could pull out an album from 2011 and go, I remember the girl and the house we were living in. And I remember the gigs at the time.
Right.
And the band and the van we were traveling in. So that's why I want it to be. And that's the way music started for me, was expressing where I am at the time through a song and through the stage.
Yeah.
And luckily we started getting paid for that.
Yeah.
But that's always been a special thing to be. And when I'm an old man, I'll be able to look back and just like, instead of a picture diary, I'll have songs.
Yeah. Well, you've got cool videos that go along with them too.
And I love making videos.
You guys crush your crew, everything. Do you feel like you kind of opened up and were more accepting of people understanding who you are on the inside? Because, like I said, as a fan, you can see that when you first came out, it was, this is what I think music is. And at that age, you were probably speaking your truth, but it seems that your truth has gone deeper, and that people are more getting able to see the Granger that I got to know, the person that I see.
Yeah, that's I think that's just getting older, you know. That's just living life. And every artist, when you're a teenager, you're gonna write songs or perform songs that naturally you just don't totally understand. And there's nothing wrong with that. It happens all the time. You have to go through that until you've lived enough life, you've had enough real things happen to you that you could actually speak towards that, and people will believe it.
Yeah. Now, do you feel like the process kind of overexposes you on the inside? Do you feel okay with people seeing it? Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the weird thing, is I'll write songs. Like when I lost my dad in 2014, I wrote a song about it, and then I couldn't play it.
Oh yeah.
I never could.
Yeah.
And people would request it. And people would even tell me, like, you know, that song means a lot to me. It reminds me of my dad. Can you play it tonight in a meet and greet? And I'd be like, yeah, we'll see if we could talk about, you know.
Yeah.
And then I wouldn't.
Because it was too real.
As soon as the song starts, it's too real. Yeah. And so that is actually a problem.
Yeah. Now, have you found a way to kind of quell that? Like, can you play your dad's song now? Have you found a way to do that? Are you in the process of that?
I don't know. It's funny you say it, because I still don't play it, but we've been doing these live stream shows lately, because of the state of the world.
Yeah.
And that song, it's called Tractor. It starts to come up again. People are like, play Tractor.
It's a great song.
So, well, thank you, dude. So I'm like, well, it's on a live stream. I'm kind of safe because I'm in my own space, you know. Right. So maybe I'll pull it out.
Family and friends and stuff. Yeah. That's crazy. You never think about that. I mean, of course, you go through your life and you write like a poem or whatever to a girlfriend, and you feel, you know, like I'm kind of I'm kind of exposing myself and you feel vulnerable, but you never think about when someone who has an audience that's actually expecting them to be honest and they put something out there that's just as real as like your father passing.
So imagine taking that poem you wrote for your girl and then standing up in a theater and reading it to everyone.
Right.
That's weird, right?
It's totally crazy. I mean, it's what you signed up for. It's like, I can also see why it's like, oh my gosh, it's like you guys are actually seeing who I am.
Which is why when Earl Dibbles came around in 2011, I loved that creative outlet of Earl. Because it's like I didn't give a damn.
Right.
What, it didn't matter.
It's a Halloween costume.
Exactly.
It's I can go out and have fun and do this stuff, but this is Earl. This is separate.
Yeah.
Now that you're here, it's 2020, and Earl is just as big as ever, and you have now eclipsed him. I don't think it's even a discussion anymore that you've surpassed Earl. At this point, do you still feel like he has a place, or is he kind of fading? Where is Earl in Granger's life?
Yeah, I try to. First of all, I just love it. I love Earl. I love that creative outlet that he provides, and I have family members that are just like him, so it's easy to channel that character. And I always, like, this new album will have a couple songs with Earl on it again, and we've been exploring, like, it started with Holler, where we started exploring what if they were both in the same song together. I'm with Earl in the same video.
You got a nice little fist bump in there. By the way, that's my son's favorite YouTube video. My son is 4, he's gonna turn 5. He will watch that song, that video over and over and over. He loves it.
So that video, by the way, I know we're off on a tangent from your question, but that video was just complete luck, really.
Really?
It was like, man, we should do this video at the Iggy Farm with Paul, my videographer, and he's gonna call some videographer buddies.
Shout out to Paul, you're the man.
Dude, killed it. And then we'll invite some friends. I think it started with like Lunkers TV, Robert, you know, and then Matt Demo got involved.
Right.
And then Matt got you involved.
He called me and Nick.
And Nick got involved.
Yeah.
And then it just kept growing.
And then we had Jared the Outlaw come through.
And you guys.
Who is also, I was so excited to be in that group. First off, I got a concussion right before we started.
I was gonna go there,
we can talk about it. But like, I was still so excited to be around those people. And now all those people, I still talk to them.
So cool,
we
man.
say hi and everything. It wasn't.
That's why me and you are sitting here today, because of that video.
And it wasn't like in a lot of other instances when you meet like YouTube people or Instagram people, it's very plastic. It's very fake. It's very forced. And you're like, oh, we're gonna pose for this picture. Thanks, bye. And it wasn't like that. For us, like, I didn't want the night to end. I couldn't remember my last name.
I know.
But I still wasn't ready to go home, you know?
When people were like, I wish I was there for that video, I'm like, yeah, it was one of the best ever.
It was a good time.
So you guys, first of all, y'all all had the date open.
Right.
You could come. And then when the time, we were expecting you guys, and all of a sudden everyone started driving in, we're like, they're really coming.
Yep.
They're really coming.
You had an army of people here, man. I remember the helicopter driving scene you had like the big truck with all the other cars rolling up behind it with the helicopter leading the way and the guy on the horse. The guy on the horse name, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting.
Dale
You Ain't No
Brisby.
Cowboy. Dale Brisby. Yes. Oh, man, such a great dude.
Yeah.
And it was like, all these people, they're huge on the internet. They're very big followings.
For different reasons.
And they're all awesome people. We had the guy who did the barbecue. He's like world renowned for his barbecue. He was just out there hanging out and being
Kent
a
Rollins.
guy.
Kent Rollins. Good. Yeah, it's like that might never happen again for me, where everyone says yes.
Yeah.
I'm used to the music business where everyone says no.
Right, right.
So the influencer world, everyone said yes.
Yeah.
And you're right, man. And so then you, first of all, pulling the semi truck.
Yeah. Well, that was the last thing I did. Right.
Yeah. And did the strap break or?
The strap broke. So I was messed up.
Broke a strap.
Yeah. I was so happy they still used it. See, so what happened? I'm telling the audience. We're driving around, rednecking around, playing. And I'm too tall to be in one of those ATVs. My head sticks out. So we end up rolling hard, and I eat it. And I've got this just gash going up my head. And I remember getting up and I totally, like, the first thing I'm thinking is, I don't remember my son's birthday. And for me, that's just this thing that's always in like my checkpoint.
Right.
Because I don't have the best memory. I've been wild my whole life. You see, as soon as I got here, we were going crazy, you know? So for me, you know, September 8th, 2015, that's my anchor. That's my point. And so when I rolled it and I got up, I was like, I don't know where I am. I don't know what's my son's birthday. I called his mom 4 times in a row, like totally forgot each time. And she's like, what is going on with you? And then we're going, and I'm talking trash to all these guys. I'm telling Matt Best, I was like, you never served in the military. And he's like, what the hell are you talking about?
So all right, so what he's saying is, when everyone arrived, and there was no schedule really.
Right.
But there was all these UTVs that we had brought in from this Texas Power Sports place down the road. So they're all just parked with the keys in them. So we all just instinctively just got in these things. He being one of them.
Yep.
But these things go like 70 miles an hour.
Oh, on a dime too.
In the field. Yeah. So we're all just spinning, and then we all noticed quickly that they're tipping. You know, if you turn too hard, they're tipping. And so there was a couple guys that almost turned, and then you turned it over.
Oh yeah.
And then you hit your head, I guess, on the roll cage.
Yeah, I had a bolt-shaped gash. So like the bolt on the cage, it was shaped just like the edge of the bolt going up my head right there. And there's a great shot in the video. I got up and I'm walking out, and this was, like you said, before we even were going. So it's not like somebody was there with the camera.
Yeah.
They got it with the overhead shot.
Yeah.
And then I'm getting out and the cameras are rushing over there and I'm walking over and I'm just like,
go like this, that. And blood's just coming down your forehead.
Yeah.
That's how we started the day.
That was it. And then the rest of the day, I was like, I don't know what I was supposed to do, but I'll be here. And we strapped up to the semi.
Yeah.
So the guy, what happens with a semi when you pull it, you're supposed to lube up the axles. If you sit for a while, it's like pulling it on e-brake. So I was not in a place where I could explain that to anybody. So like he's had it sit for a while. So when I went to pull it, it was really, really hard. Hard for someone who pulls stuff like that for a living. So I was like, all right, screw it. I'm just gonna yank the hell out of it. This is gonna move. So I went and pulled it and the strap just snaps off of it. And I roll backwards and I eat it. And in my head, I was like, that was awesome. I jump up and I'm like, yeah.
It's a great moment in the video, man.
Yeah, it's so good.
That's like probably my son's favorite moment of the whole video right
Nice.
there. Breaking the strap.
Yeah. And we're out.
Yeah.
It was such a good time, man. And like I was saying, we had such a cool crew. We all ended up hanging out, watching the bonfire, and we had a prayer and everything for dinner. It was unlike anything I'd ever been a part of before, and it just made me want to be around that more.
Yeah,
and so
me too. Me too, brother.
It was a good time, man.
Really good time. Yeah.
I really appreciate you having me, man. It was really cool.
And this hopefully will lead to many more cool things, just like today.
Right.
Yeah.
One last thing I wanted to talk to you about is you're pushing into, you got any more?
Yeah, I got a little more.
Ugh.
I like this show.
Luckily, Natty Light stuffed us with a bunch of beer so we could drink as much as we want.
Perfect.
Your transition now, as far as like your internet life, I'm not gonna pretend to know what your home life transition has been, but your life as far as from the outside looking in, your transition has really gone a lot more into opening up, and your wife and your family and stuff are a part of a lot of stuff, which is awesome. I think you guys set a really great example for families out there when there's not a lot of good examples for people who hold that family value and show love and respect for each other the way you guys do. It's really rare. But my question is that transition, did it naturally occur? Did you choose to have it? Was it ever suggested? And what are the challenges that kind of go with that? Because like you said, you got that song that means so much to you. It's hard to share that. And what's it like having the most important thing, your family, and then sharing that with people too? Like,
yeah, man. Well, you're right. You're exactly right that there was a moment when it was like, should we or should we not? Yeah. And I think what happened to me was so many years of scratching in the music business and trying to be heard and trying to be seen. that we went through years of when actually things started working within our fan base and our underground fan base, but the industry really didn't know about it. So I spent so much effort trying to take cool pictures in front of our crowd.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Well, you became the Tech Nine of country. Everyone who loves rap is like, Tech Nine's the man. But in country, everyone's like, oh, Granger's the man. But it's like, you got to be in the scene to know.
So I got so many pictures of just saying, thank you, Indianapolis. You know, and then the crowd's behind me raising their hands.
Yeah.
And it just got to be, after a while, just like, man, I can't keep doing this. I can't every day just saying how awesome we think life is. And I was like, what if I made a switch on social media and started talking about real shit, you know, like real life. And because I started thinking, as fans, when you're trying to buy into a brand or somebody, you just can't always relate to a guy on tour playing in front of big crowds, or you know, in these countries that people haven't even heard of before. And you're there with a crowd around you cheering you on.
Right. It's almost like it's like a TV show. It doesn't really exist. It's fantasy land.
So I started thinking, I mean, I think people need to know that Robert drinks Natty Light just like me.
Yeah.
You know, and he likes the same stuff I do. And so that's kind of where I went. And as far as the family was concerned, I thought about it for years. Like, should I never show the kids' faces on the internet ever?
Right. Yeah.
You know, safety reasons.
Yeah.
And then I hit this barrier where I was like, or maybe if I do, I could set some kind of example that, hey, we're a normal family just like you. Yeah. And that would also force me to maintain that. Yeah. Like it keeps me accountable.
In check, yeah.
Yeah, it keeps me in check. And it's exactly what happened. Is we started a YouTube channel, a family channel. A lot of those guys like Matt Demo at the Holler video told me, like, you should start a family channel. Yeah. And my first reaction was like, I don't want my family on YouTube.
Right.
But as we started doing it, we started doing fun things, riding go-karts, going to the zoo.
Right.
And I was like, this is making me a better dad.
Definitely. And I think as just the culture of our country, there's a lot of examples out there that aren't the best. Right. There's a lot of people who are famous for just being awful people. Right. And you see them dragging their kids and making them do stuff, and it's like, it's really refreshing to see somebody on the other side who's like, I don't want to put these people out here, but I'm going to, and the risk of that is worth the benefit of showing that example. And I think you've probably touched a lot of people's lives just because of that.
Well, thank you, man. And that's definitely the goal. And I've seen the transition, like in my meet and greets at shows, of little kids coming, saying, you know, we watch what you do, and it's like, man, this feels right. This feels like we're on a good mission.
Yeah. So you say right now it was the right choice.
It was the right choice, absolutely.
Good. Yeah. Well, we appreciate it, and the world loves that you're letting us in and getting to see a little behind the scenes stuff, and even the stuff that's hard to say in front of people, man. We love following along with it.
Thank you, dude.
I hope you never change it, brother.
I appreciate you, man.
Thanks for being on.
Of course.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers, man.